Hello, welcome to Tim's Maniac Sports. By the way, do got the links in the description if so, or I do got a link in the chat if anybody wants to join. Just hit that link, and if you have StreamYard, you can get on and join. Um, One of the main focuses that I want to focus on right now today is the defense and how much better are they going to be. Um, to tell you the truth, it's kind of too early to tell. But what I've been hearing from Wordwood Sports and other stuff, that the defense could be a lot better. And I was just listening. Like I said, I was listening to Wordwood Sports. Is it crazy that they're talking about the defense being a top 10 defense, the Detroit Lions defense, which was one of the worst in the league last year. You know, um, and what would that mean? As long as we don't take a step back in offense too. So, and I'm just looking at this and seeing, if the Lions can get a top 10 defense on this, you know, on the field, you know, it it's just gonna mean so much. It will mean so much to everybody. It will show people. Hey, thank you. I see I got a viewer. Um, Welcome to Tim's Maniac Sports. Uh, Thank you for coming and checking out the channel. Hey, how's it going, Wayne? How's it going? Um, Glad to have you here. Thanks for coming. So, Wayne, how how good do you think the defense is going to be with the players that they have added in free agency, and as far as in um, also the draft? I think they could be quite a step higher. And plus you have Aiden Hutchinson. Is He could really get a lot more sacks. Um, I I just I just think they could end up being, and it's easy to get on that hype train when you hear like Woodward Sports saying that some of the during training camp this week, at least one of the days, they really made themselves look good and look that much better against a top three offense. I mean, yeah, you don't have pads on. It's not a real game situation and stuff like that. But there was CJ, Gardner Johnson. You know, I mean, what does he add? I mean, he adds a lot to that secondary. Top 20, week 7. Top 15, uh, top 20 to top 15. Week 12, top 10. Last week 5. Wow. Wow. Uh, One of the things, and yes, I'm going to reference Jim in this and give him credit. I know he's no longer around, but way back when we were doing our podcast, one of the things that he said, the way the Detroit Lions can win a Super Bowl, all right, and this is probably 4 years back now. He said he didn't care in what order you gave this. All right. He said you give me a top 10 defense, top 5 running game, or vice versa, and that gets you a Super Bowl win. All right. So, I figure our running game should be stout. It should just be awesome. The running game, we keep that passing game going Also, too, if we have anything near the offense that we had last year, where we ended up ranking overall the top three offense, we get the top five. Okay, five's going a bit crazy. All right, but who knows? You get that top into that top uh 10 defense, top five offense, man, this could mean a Super Bowl. How many more games would the Lions have won if they would have had a defense last year? I mean, I was also hearing where their linebackers were kind of showing each other up and catching one-handed balls. Okay, linebackers was doing this. Hey, thank you for stopping in to Tim's Maniac Sports. Uh, I appreciate it, but I'm just getting more and more excited about what the Lions can do, what they're building here. You know, and hey, thanks for I appreciate it. Yeah, like, subscribe. Um, yeah, I try to run this on all three of my outlets, as far as for Tim's Maniac Sports, Twitch TV, Maniac Sports, and also Facebook. I appreciate everybody coming. Your comments are welcome, and please like, subscribe, and share your thoughts. Share your comments. Uh, you know, one of the things, this is where the fans' opinions matter. This is where this is a show where we take a look and we want to see what you guys think, and you know uh and have your backing here too. uh so we want to thank you guys. uh but yeah, uh I think with the increase of I mean, you're having Aiden Hutchinson that's going to, second man, freshman, or is actually a sophomore, as a um, sophomore season. Uh, so yeah, I think he's going to get the sacks. He's going to get more sacks. You're going to get, there's Houston that's going to be on there and stuff like that. Hey Tristan, how's it going? Um, yeah, I mean it's. So what do you think? Okay, all right. I was listening to Big Easy and his partner on Woodwork Sports. All right, do you think they're crazy when they say that the defense can be a top 10 defense with the players we got now? I mean, do you think that's a crazy thought, or do you think that the Lions, with the pieces that they had, and of course, if they stay healthy, do you think the Lions can be this top 10 defense that is talking about? Or where do you think you would rate the Lions, as far as from what you've seen in minicamp? Hey, Kevin, how's it going? How's it going? Bring in Tom Brady. Yeah. You know what? Hey, I would favor that. But uh, Tom Brady, definitely a goat. Uh, definitely. But this, can he move the way that they need him to move? I don't know. Yeah, the goat. And Kevin's great friend of mine from work. Great friend of the show. Um, thank you, guys. Yeah, thank you. How's your week off going, Kevin? Yeah, Kevin's at work and he had the week off. So Yeah, I think it's definitely possible. It could even be probable. If they get that man, oh man, if they get that defense clicking and they get that offense clicking, and you know, you have those special teams. Sorry about that. I meant to technical difficulties with my phone. I should have had that turned off. Sorry about my phone ringing. Uh, but yeah, I I'll tell you, I have the utmost respect for Tom Brady and on what he's done and stuff like that. Um, why don't we just bring in Terry Bradshaw too? I'm joking, of course. Peyton Manning. We could bring in some of those, but no, Tom Brady's in the bit better shape than some of those guys, though, especially Terry Bradshaw. Man, he goes back a minute. Yeah. Another thing I wanna bring up too. Yeah, this is a topic. Leave in the comments. Who do you? Okay, if you. All right. This is getting off the show topic, but I was, you know, from from 1 to 10. All right, as far as any quarterback in the league. All right. Uh, within the last 3 years, if they had retired, I'll consider those two. But if you had the game on the line, uh, from and you needed somebody, to get you that touchdown. Give me your top. Well, we'll go with from 1 to 10. Give me your top 10 quarterbacks that you would want to lead your team to come back. Uh, as far as that you would have faith in that could get that touchdown, that would get your team into the end zone. Um, of course, one that comes to mind, yeah, definitely the great Tom Brady. You got you got to throw Aaron Rodgers in there. As far as for bringing a team back. Yeah, I know that's fighting words as far as on a Detroit Lions show. You got to bring Matt Stafford in there because he has, and I'm not naming these in the order top 10 on my top 10 either right now, but you got to bring, put Matthew Stafford in there too because he has done it before. Drew Brees, you got to also consider him. Patrick Mahomes, those are some of the names that I can think of right now. Uh, Joe Burrows, uh, definitely he would be one because a couple of years ago, his his back and forth with Patrick Mahomes, he ended up getting them to getting the Bengals to the Super Bowl. You also got to look at Josh Allen too. As being one of the quarterbacks that you would want the ball in his hand because hey, you know I'll tell you that battle that him and Mahomes had before the AFC Championship game the last year. So these are some of the quarterbacks that I have named that within the some have retired. Yeah, definitely. And yeah, I mean, hey, Tom Brady even knows that. Yeah. Let me put some of these stuff up. Of course, uh, this is I need to bring in Tom Brady. Uh, and this is Tristan telling us that he thinks that the deal, the top 10 defense is possible. All right, and if the defense is clicking, like like you said, yeah, definitely training camp, and of course, I mean, yeah, I definitely gotta say Stafford is one of the guys that I would, you know, because we've seen him do it. We've seen him do it, yeah, against and I'll tell you, it gets scary with Stafford too. Sometimes it got scary because he would go ahead and sometimes he would throw that pick, but there would be a lot of times that he would go ahead and bring you back to score. Uh, so I definitely want to give him that credit. Uh, Also, Wayne. Um, this again is going back a little bit further. If our Wayne said top 20 to to week 7, top 15 to week 12, top 10 or top 10 last 5 weeks. So I mean, so you look at this, you know, and with how they shirt up, you know. So if you give me, you know, if you give me a defense that is in that top 10 uh rating, all right, uh yeah, he would even try to play as good as possible. Could even when he got hurt, yeah, that's true. You know, that's true. Stafford was a workhorse for us, and I give all the credit and all the. I mean, Stafford, when he was alive, he lived and died Detroit Lions. He did. I mean, and yeah, he would go ahead and uh, play her. I mean, and which was a good thing because a lot of times we didn't have a backup quarterback that could step in, and that's kind of the way it is with golf right now too. There is Hendon Hooker, yeah. Once he gets you know once he gets to that um once he gets healed, he got the ACL torn, so this year he's not that quarterback that could step in if somebody fell, if golf fell. So, I mean, and Stafford was in the same because I'll tell you, yeah, Stafford played with hurt ribs. Technically, he had a broken back. I mean, in some way. So I mean, those last couple years, the hits that he took, uh, it was, it weighed in on him. And of course, our defensive line wasn't built like it is today. So yeah, he would even try to play as good as possible when it was her. Yeah. Hey, okay. We need him back because we need we need him back. Our backup quarterback was not good. Yes, that's true. All right. Now, I may be wrong, but it seems like he lost more games than he won. Yeah. Uh, you know what? There. You know what? But did he? That's definitely a good point. He did end up, but a lot of these games that he lost, and was some were taken away. I mean, I'm not going to say every game or even the majority of the games that was lost by Stafford, but uh, some of them were taken away by bad calls by the official. I mean, officials. There's no doubt. I mean, when you get apologies from the league because they blew the game, and there's been many of them. I mean, hey, we're just keeping it real by saying that, but that's not that's. I mean, there's times when because when he's uh when he's trying to force things. And one of the Kevin, I know you probably know him too. Tim Reardon at work. We were talking a little bit yesterday, about one of the saving grace on Stafford was he had Megatron. So where Megatron, he could practically catch the ball just about any place. So Megatron, and I'm not, I mean, this is not a knock at Stafford because a lot of your receivers are going to make your quarterbacks. Okay, so how good your team is also going to count against your wins and losses. So if you're in that better team, so but Megatron was that type of receiver that would go ahead and actually bail you out. And he just knew that he could go ahead and throw it up just about in anywhere of his vicinity, and Megatron would go ahead and uh, bring that ball in. But sometimes he would need to jump, dive, and tumble, just to go ahead and keep that ball, to get that ball and stuff like that. And back then, is it a catch? Was it a catch? And that was not Megatron fault. Hey, Megatron, Megatron was a goat. Megatron, best best receiver that the Lions ever had up until now, bar none. Even if you throw in Jameson Williams, you know, because Megatron was about football, getting wins for the Lions. All right. Yeah, for the Lions. Yep, definitely. Uh, but yeah, I'm not gonna make the excuses, uh, because not all the losses. The Lions had their fair blunders too, where they created their own losses too. So, but yeah, thank you, and hey, and thank you, Tristan, for definitely your comments. You know, it's you know, sad. There's and I kind of want to drop this Stafford thing, but I did want to give him the credit for what's due because hey, there were things, and I'll tell you when he was playing those, and I'm not a Rams fan. I'm not a Rams fan. Okay, uh, but when Stafford was playing Tampa Bay, or when the Rams were playing Tampa Bay in that playoff game to get to the NFC Championship game, and when Stafford had that ball in his hands, uh, I'll tell you, it was classic Stafford all the way. Anybody that was a Lions fan watching it, and I'll tell you, I'm sure a lot of the Rams people back then too. They had did their research on Stafford, and what they did was, you knew at that point, you knew that Stafford was going to go ahead and get that touchdown. I knew it. I knew it. And back then, I said that was classic Stafford. Because I seen him do it so many times before. I also seen the other side where he's trying to do it, and he's the only, and he tries to force in, and he throws a bad throw. You know, that's part of it too, where he'll just go ahead and just, interception. You see the balls, you see that, but Megatron, you know, uh, I, I mean, how much? how, one thing they could not establish when you had uh, yeah I this is the last thing that I'm going to say about Stafford. Um, for most of his career, all right, with the Lions, you did not have a solid running game. Not that the Lions didn't try to get a running back to. So if you have that solid running game, all right, then the defense cannot just concentrate on the quarterback because you gotta respect that run. You gotta put more people on that line. You cannot go ahead and double cover every receiver because you can't run the ball. Okay, so a lot of the credit that Stafford had gotten, even though there was a lot of losses, was because you know you only had you only had the passing game basically. Then most of the time we had Stafford, uh, and everybody knows if you need that running game to complement. Because hey, otherwise, if you can't run, if you cannot run, if a team cannot run the ball, then they go ahead and they drop their linebackers back, and you got more people to cover the pass. So having the better offensive line and stuff like that. Now that's one thing that we've seen. That's one thing that we've seen uh, where when you last year we seen once we got that running game going. Uh, we had a do threat, a balanced offense. We had where you could run and pass the ball. You know, that balanced offense did a lot. So if you add a better defense, you know, even if it's a top 15 defense, you know, uh, you're gonna win more games. And if you keep um, that same ability, that same where you're that top three offense. I remember Lions at one time they got up, for that first couple weeks they were. I mean, there was one week they were the number one offense, but at the other end of the spectrum they were the number 32 defense. So when you got both these teams that are working together, all right, you got both sides of that ball that are high quality. It spells winning. And then you also have that running game. I mean, Jamar Gibbs, the speedster, Jamar Gibbs. We got him. We got Montgomery this year. Sure, we don't have DeAndre Swift. And no, and I'm not going to badmouth DeAndre Swift because hey, when he played and he did good. I'm not going to badmouth Jamal Williams. He played. He was a lion all in out. I mean, I wish the best for them. Just I don't want to see them when they play against us. So that's but I'm not one of these. I mean, just like T.J. Hawkinson. T.J. Hawkinson, he no, it's not his fault that he's a Minnesota Vikings now. T.J. Hawkinson did his deal. Another thing, I'm sorry, I hate to revisit it, but another thing, Stafford is such a hard pass thrower that it is hard for it. It was hard for some of the receivers to catch those passes. So yeah. So who do you think? Okay. So who do you think Kelvin Johnson, Stafford, Barry played together? Okay. play together, would they have won a championship? You know what? If they play together, Barry Sanders, Kelvin Johnson, and Matthew Stafford, hell to the yeah. I'm, I'm sorry. You know, no, I'm not sorry about saying, but yeah, yep. I mean, that's money. That is money. All right, you got those, Kevin. You know, you got that's a dream team. That's a dream offense. You know, and if all right, that is a dream offense. I mean, everybody would be shaking in their. And shoot, if you brought in like Ray Crockett, Chris Spielman back then, you know, yeah. Hey, and I see Grandizer 12 is in the building. Thank you. Uh, oh wow. I tell you, this is a great show. Yeah. Yeah. This is my version of Free for All Friday, but it's Frantic Crazy Friday. It's just you know, and yeah. But hey, I'll tell you, Jamar Gibbs, C.J. Gardner. If Williams can ever go ahead and get out of his own way of these troubles, Jamar JMO, what on St. Brown. Oh my God, that guy's good. That St. Brown, this guy, his work ethic, his ability. I mean, talking about a diamond in the rough before we got him. Now this guy, OMG, is all I can say. This guy has stepped up and has proven last year. He's proven even at the end of his rookie season that he's for real. He's for real. And I mean, oh, roar! See, Grandizer, you brought out the roar in me. Yep. Okay, yeah. And Tristan's about ready to go. Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. The Detroit Lions. Det- oh my. Uh, can we be that? Can we be that? That I'm also gonna repost the link in the chat here. All right. You heard my word. Yeah. Thank you, Tristan. Yeah. Right. Okay. Let's see here. I'm gonna repost this again in the chat. Okay. All right. All right. Yeah. Okay. So I resent the link in the chat. So somebody, if you want to pop in, Tristan, that's fine. That would be great. That's totally up to you. Um. But yeah, the okay. Growl loud at the top of your voice, at the top of your lungs. I'm sorry, I just mentally read voice. Try as you might, just like hitting the like button. Hell yeah! I'm sorry. I'm just too darn excited right now. Um, but yeah, yeah, of course I am going to be on every my schedule right now is every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 11 o'clock Tim's Maniac Sports. I'm planning on getting these shows better for you guys. I'm also going to be trying to work on bringing back some of the light stuff too on some alternate days too. So let's just go ahead and yeah, keep on keeping on. All right. And remember, at Tim's Maniac Sports, I do not consider, I do not consider the football a contact sport. It's a grade, 3 grades above a contact sport. It is a collision sport, bar none. This is a sport that where your bodies collide together. You go ahead and the winner. I mean, it's just like two bulls coming together. So so this is a collision sport, and okay, Grandizer Trials, Lion News, Emphasis, Situations, Work at Minicamp, OTAs, Detroit Lion News. Yes, and I was there for sure. All right, Lions News, Kelvin Johnson. Yeah, I did see that. I seen that, and I'm glad you. Yeah, Kelvin Johnson and the Detroit Lions are uh, repairing have repaired their bonds at least somewhat, and it does. I mean, he's been with management and bringing him back in to the fold. I mean, sometimes just like with any partnership, any job or whatever, you leave and there, somebody does something wrong and there's hurt feelings and stuff like that. But now they are past that. Lions. Calvin Johnson met with Detroit Lions Jamal Williams at minicamp. Sports Illustrated. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, if anybody can get Williams, Jameson, not Jamal Williams, Jameson Williams, sorry, I can get that youngster going and on the right path, you know, if I mean having a mentor like Kelvin Johnson. I mean, you've seen when Dan Campbell came back, when Brad Holmes came back, they went ahead. This regime is bringing back people that are that's been with the Lions, that's been the well-known um, backings that the fans have loved, like Chris Philman, the Calvin Johnson, Barry Sanders. These were all fan favorites that went ahead and actually did a lot on the field. So they all want to see, and of course, hey, we all know Lions Nation Unite. Hey, everybody, check that place out. Herman Moore may not play for the Lions, but anybody who knows Herman Moore knows that he is still 100% a Lions fan. He is still, I mean, to go ahead and create an app, a channel, and everything like that, to go, because he knows, he, you know, he knows, he lives and breathes Detroit Lions. So, and make sure you guys check out Lions Nation Unite app and also their Facebook. Yeah, I know a lot of you guys already know about that. Lions News, Jared Goff, icy blinding, could haul a new era in for him and the Detroit Lions. Yep, that's true. I mean, hey, and Dan Campbell has a. All right, hey Tristan, how's it going, buddy?
Hi, Tim. How's it going?
I'm doing all right. Let me get my earphones on
Okay.
because yeah. All right. Okay.
I think
Oh,
Herman Moore would be pretty good at playing football.
oh yeah, man. That guy. I mean,
He's a
I.
legend. He's
Mm-hmm. Yeah, oh, definitely for sure. Herman Moore is a legend. He's I mean, we seen him, and I mean, he's actually played alongside Barry Sanders, and and he was on that team where the one playoff win that the Lions did have.
right.
So
Yeah.
could you imagine if he would have had Stafford as his quarterback? Oh boy,
Oh,
that
that would be
yeah. By the way, the man with the most, Tristan Williams. Right. Okay. And so tell me, what did you like best about training camp this year that you looked at? Have you been able to watch much of it?
I haven't been able to I haven't watched it, but I've been sharing in the groups about it.
Hmm.
Seems like it's going pretty good,
Yeah.
according to what the press conferences are.
Okay. Yeah. And what did one of the things I mean I read this on Pride of Detroit where a couple of our linebackers they went ahead and grabbed a couple one-handed grabs as far as for catches. And this was kind of like they were doing like a walkthrough, and their coordinator went ahead and threw the ball as hard as they can, and Anzalone and I think it was Laporte. They both caught the ball one-handed.
Oh wow.
And I mean, Anzalone did that just because Laporte did it first, and I mean, it just shows that you got some strength back there,
Yeah.
and so that's good. Um, but I tell you, I wish it's just too bad we have to wait a couple months yet to see the real thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly. It's
yeah,
too far away, but it's not.
mm-hmm. Yeah, and so early predictions. How many games do you think the Lions will win this year?
I'm hoping at least 10 or more.
10 or more. Okay. And you know what? That's very feasible to see 10 wins with the team that they got now. I think it's very possible. Of course, Green Bay. I mean, the NFC North. They're in rebuilding. Just about every team is rebuilding. So there's. I think they're in a position to win the NFC North now. But they still gotta go out and do it. They still it's just um, we don't know what Jordan Love is going to be with Packers. But you know, running quarterbacks go ahead and have given the Lions uh, heck during last season. But we got a better defense, and if they can figure out how to stop that run and these add if with the pieces they had, and also with the better secondary, I'm looking for them to have at least 12 wins.
Yeah.
It's
Like,
it's I mean, there's one guy I worked at. I mean, he's even is aiming higher than me. He's saying that the Lions are only going to lose 2 games in Taiwan,
oh, that's
and
asking a lot.
that is asking a lot. But if if it happens, I mean, um, to date, the best record that the Lions have had was the 12-4 season when they won that Super Bowl, or not won that Super Bowl, won that playoff game, and they had that run and shoot. So and I think barring because you cannot say that Gibbs is better than Barry Sanders because we don't,
No.
but I do gotta say, barring a lot of things, I think that the Lions are putting a better team than what we had back then on the field. Especially offensive wise. Um, so I just see, I mean, I don't know, if they could go 13 and but if they could win 13 games, that'd be great.
Exactly.
That would be their best season, their best season
The
ever.
Yeah, best season
Yeah.
they've ever had.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Now, do you think that Williams' suspension was uh, kind of you know, a little bit more harsh than what it should have been?
I mean, yeah, I guess it was a little more harsh.
I I think if you look at a lot of the suspensions that they have given, and I think it was harsh. I think that I mean some of the things that some of these other have gotten away with, it just
Yeah, it
it
doesn't
does
make
make
sense.
you feel I'm sorry to cut. It does make you feel that you you know it can make you feel that the NFL is against science in some ways, but it's not all that. Now, okay, now I'll let you talk.
Yeah, it's like again, it's like other teams got away with it, and besides us,
Yeah,
they like punished us more than others.
yeah. Now, one of the things one of my friends at work, Brian, uh, he was telling me that he thought that that the Chiefs game was kind of like a slap in the face from the NFL. Now, I totally, to me, I totally disagree. I think what the NFL did, is they went ahead and when the lining it off with the Chiefs opening day of the entire NFL. I because we know the Lions, we're a lot of us fans were so mad because we did not get a primetime game last year. This year we got five of them. Okay, I
Hmm.
think that it shows a new respect that we are getting from the NFL, and they show, and it shows that the Lions are going to give the Chiefs one heck of a fight, if not beat them. Opening day of the football season, Thursday night at Arrowhead. It's going. They're going to give the Chiefs all that they can handle. And I'll tell you what,
Exactly.
I will not be surprised if the Lions come away with that W.
Me either.
Because hey, you go ahead and you open up a can of Maniac. Go ahead and you go ahead and you put Aiden Hutchinson in there, and you just go ahead and you just sack that heck out of Mahomes, and you go ahead and you get Jamar Gibbs in there, and you run that down that throat, and Rod St. Brown goes ahead and you you start you score touchdowns, you score, and I'll tell you
Yeah.
what, that's one thing that you cannot do against the Chiefs is you cannot go ahead and let up against any team
Nope.
because no lead is safe. No lead is safe. So, with a balanced offense, a strong running attack, and also a strong defense, we're going to go ahead and just give the Chiefs all you want. And I'll tell you, we did it. And I'll tell you, this game is going to be better than the game against Philadelphia
Hmm.
last year for the Lions opening day. because the Lions have a better defense than what they had, and I think they definitely have a better running game than what they had last year.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, I
All
just
right.
can't wait to see what they can actually
Yeah.
do this year, and
Hmm.
yeah, it's going to be exciting.
Yeah. And what one of the things that has not been going well in training camp, at least a little bit that I read, uh, is that the kicker situation. Yeah, I read about a couple missed field goals, but so that's one thing. But hopefully we're scoring more touchdowns than field goals this year, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Because
definitely.
last year we just seemed like we were kicking more field goals than touchdowns,
Yeah.
and
Well,
that was
once Dan Campbell got where he could actually trust the field goal makers and stuff like that too,
uh-huh.
because I know it was like always, yeah, go for it, go for it, go for it on fourth down. I mean, and everybody knew, because I mean at that point, Dan Campbell made himself predictable because everybody knew he was going to go for it. Once he went ahead and he changed that up, where he would go for the field goals, and stuff like that.
It would
It,
trick the other teams.
yeah. Hmm. Definitely. Okay, so uh, Grendizer 12, what brings out the maniac in you? Tim's maniac spark. He is a victim of the modern age. Oh, God, you gotta love him. I mean, he comes up with some great sayings.
He
Yeah,
does.
yeah, he does. And I mean, I'll tell you what, I appreciate. I, I mean, I'll tell you what, everybody. Tristan has been with me from the start. He supported the channel. He shares a lot of my stuff. You know, I mean, he's been with uh, Detroit Lions on the pro. A lot of people see. I mean, he's Micro Mike. He supports a lot of the things there. Both Grandizer 12 and Tristan has really did a lot for people. And I'll tell you, my hat's off, even if my hair is a mess, to both of you guys. Also, my friend Kevin, who's actually said who appeared on in a few comments. Yeah, and I'll tell you, he likes a lot of my stuff too, and he's definitely a football guy. But okay, Tristan, I cannot have you on the show and not ask you what brings out the maniac in you. So, what does?
What brings up the maniac in me is just the teams getting better. They're playing how I wanted them to play. I mean, I want them to be in the playoffs and the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl and all that type of stuff.
Okay, one thing, and I'll tell you, this is one of the things that I heard way back when. All right, and would you mortgage the future of the Detroit Lions to win one Super Bowl?
Mm, I might. I don't know what answer I should give to that one.
Yeah, well, so basically, what I'm saying is we know the Rams. They kind of did that with Stafford and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they they went ahead, they traded away a lot of their draft, but they did get that Super Bowl win. How much would that Super Bowl win mean? I think I would. I think I would give away a lot to just to get to, because once you go ahead and you get that monkey off your back and
Mm-hmm.
you went to, because the Lions are one of the Lions and the Cleveland Browns are the two original teams in the NFL. And actually, if you look at it right, you can't even consider Cleveland an original team. The franchise you can, but the real Cleveland Browns are the Baltimore Ravens. Because Cleveland, that franchise moved to Baltimore and they did win a Super Bowl.
Wow.
So actually, if you look at, and this is no disrespect to the current Cleveland Browns, but
Mm-mm.
facts are facts, and that franchise did move to Baltimore, and so the Detroit Lions are the only team from the original NFL that has never won a Super Bowl. All right,
That's horrible.
yeah, it is. Time to get that monkey off its back. All right,
Right.
okay, Lions news. Dan Campbell's pick out five most improved Detroit Lions minicamp OTAs prior to Detroit. Definitely, yeah. Let's get another one up here. Tristan does a lot of, yeah, for sure. You read that? I'll let you read that one.
Tristan does a lot of contributions with Lions news, a lot of Lions knowledge.
Definitely, definitely. Thank you,
The more
thank you.
it seems like the more I share these Lions posts and stuff, it seems like when I type and stuff, it seems like I've typed a lot more than I actually was actually thinking I would even, know what the post was about and stuff, and know more like about the Lions than what I actually thought I knew.
hmm Well, you. I mean, you're. I'll tell you what. I mean, you're on here. I see you all the time, and
Mhm.
uh, for people that don't know, I do have. I got a page, and I also have. I got Tin Maniac Sports page, and then I also have Tin. I have Maniac Sports group too. So, and of course, my YouTube channels are yeah, Tin Maniac Sports. There is one that says Maniac Sports, but I really don't use it that much because I started the new one, Tin Maniac Sports. I'm also on Twitch TV too, which is Maniac Sports. Uh, so, but I mean, and well, I'm not going to go too much in it, but how about them Tigers?
Them Tigers, they're something else.
hmm So what's the record so far?
I have to look. Actually, give me a minute. I can tell you.
Okay, all right.
Hold on. They lost last night, so they
Okay.
they're like, I don't want that. All right, it's gonna take a minute.
Okay.
All right, they are. Oh come on, where are you at? Current standings. We'll do that. See if it lets
All
me.
right. Tin main answer.
Zero to be
Only
in ranking. 26 and 34.
26 and 34. So
Yep.
they're under 500, but
Yeah, they're in
yeah,
like fourth place.
okay. Yep. Yeah, it's been a minute since since the Tigers have been good.
hmm Yeah.
Yeah, it's baseball is a whole different world and stuff like that. And of course, you're also a Red Wings fan.
hmm
Yeah, I'll tell you what. It's one of the things that's pretty good is right now, and I mean I'll tell you what, I've seen the Tigers win the World Series. I've seen the Red Wings win the Stanley Cup, and I have seen the Pistons win a couple of NBA titles. I have never seen the Lions win the Super Bowl. So right now, with the Lions being the hot team in Detroit, and me being, I mean, as far as all these sports, all right, football has been my sport. So
Exactly.
I'm just so much ready for the Lions to go ahead and win the Super Bowl. I mean, get to
Me
the
too.
Super Bowl, get somewhere, yeah, and I'll tell you, yeah, they haven't done it yet, but they know
hmm
how to get you excited, and this culture change that we have gotten, and it's actually drawing the respect. I mean, I know on my last show I said this, but you cannot say it too many times. Where you're looking and you're seeing like on Good Morning Football where they're saying, okay, the Lions have a real chance to make it to the Super Bowl. You know, I mean, this is the national media that's saying this is not that was not Las Vegas saying that. You know, which they got a stake. Okay, if the Lions they say that the Lions are could make it, but
Mhm.
they don't make it, then due to gambling and stuff like that, it's better for them if they didn't make it. If a lot of people bet on the Lions, so I mean
Yeah.
that got me excited. Okay, all right, Grandizer 12. I tend to believe Tristan reads more Lions news than most content creators. That is awesome. Each content creator should strive to be informed. You know what? 100% agree. And I'll tell you, I know I need to read a lot more Lions news too. But I know that's true. I mean, you know, I'll tell you, uh, as far as for what you post, all right, uh, a slow day would be if I don't see 5 posts. Because you're always posting, you're always,
Right.
and that's great. That just shows. And I'll tell you what, one of the things, and that brings out the maniac in me is fans like you,
Hmm.
fans that love that sport, fans that go ahead and just interact, and contribute and just read that knowledge. I mean, one thing Luke G always says, you know, do your research.
Yep.
Do your research. And I'll tell you what, Tristan, you do your research.
Well, the past couple days, I've been feeling like I haven't been posting much because it seems like there hasn't been much news.
I see your name all the time still.
And I mean, like, I mostly share on Sideline Report, and I'm like, okay, where's the
Mhm.
news at?
Yeah. Well, I even seen you post on Woodward Sports.
Yeah, I try to
Yeah.
when I see it.
Yeah. And and I'll tell you another one that is knowledgeable is this guy right here, Grandizer. I mean, he had so much knowledge,
Yeah.
too, and I mean, I mean, he has helped me great deal, and I'll tell you what, it's yeah, I'm just going to keep on doing it. And I'll tell you, I'm just going to keep on getting better and stuff like that because
Hmm.
of friends and guys like you. I mean, and it's yeah, and also players like what I see. And I'll tell you, we got to one of these days. Are you planning on going to a Lions game this year?
I may, depending on the prices.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if there's
So,
some way we can coordinate together, that would be great. you know. Yeah. What do you think of the Michigan Panthers?
as far as I know, they've been doing okay. I mean, I'm gonna have to pay more attention to
Yeah.
them.
Well, they won 3 games this year, so they have.
It seems. Have they won more than lost?
No, they won. No, no,
No. Oh no.
no, no,
Oh no.
no. Unfortunately, they started out okay. They started out doing great. All right, they
Okay.
first 2 games they won, you know, and I went to Ford Field
Oh no.
and I seen them get their butts handed to them.
Jeez.
you know, I mean, don't get me wrong, it was a great experience. I mean, but yeah, it wasn't even a game. Last week they ended up losing. The week before they won. So there's only I think 2 more games left in the season. This week and the following week.
Oh wow, that was
Yeah. So
fast.
yeah, it's only a 10 game season. That's all it
Oh,
is. So and but they still because they're in a weak conference or division actually. You got North and South division, so they could still actually make the playoffs.
yeah.
And you only have four teams that made the playoffs. Now, okay, being a original Michigan Panther fan, all right, from the original USFL, all right,
Okay.
where you seen the Lions, or not the Lions, you seen the Panthers come back and win the first ever United States Football Championship and beat the um, Stars, Philadelphia Stars, in the football championship. Then 2 years in a row, you have two disappointing seasons. When they bring it back after a 30-year heinous, it's like, but I'll tell you, there's still, when I went to the game, all right,
Okay.
uh, and this was the the first the first game at Ford Field. Uh,
Yep.
One of the things the United States Football League crew said is that because like at last year the USFL played all in Alabama. Everything was played in Birmingham, Alabama. Okay, this year they added a few more. Um, there's four different sites that they play in and stuff like that. But they said because of the Michigan fans,
Mm-hmm.
uh, they knew they needed to get um, Michigan in their home stadium, and that's what I mean. And back then, there was no way. Back when the original USFL was around, if the NFL would have owned Pontiac Silverdome, there was no way an NFL team was going to let a USFL team play in their stadium because back then the they were kind of rivaling the NFL because they were taking players out of the NFL
Oh wow.
because the NFL was now it did not pay what they do now. So um, Anthony Carter, former Michigan wide
Mm-hmm.
receiver, played for the Michigan Panthers. Bobby Abear, quarterback for the Michigan Panthers. All right. Thanks, Tim. Love your energy. Um, this from Grandizer 12, as everybody, you love the energy you have. When you got, when you get your Super Bowl fans, such as Tristan, you're on the stream. My apologies for messing with you, Tristan.
No, you're good. Grandizer's 12. You're good.
Yeah. Oh boy. But yeah, it's been a great time. But
Yeah, this is fun.
yeah, I'll tell you back then, and I wanted to see the Detroit Lions have an exhibition game with the Michigan Panthers. It would have never happened, but this was back in like 1982 and stuff like that. It would have never happened. But one of the things that every player in the NFL needs to thank is the USFL because when they went to court to get their free agency, uh, they used the amount of the amount of cost that the USFL was giving to show that it gave them more value as
Mm-hmm.
far as rather than because of course before free agency, once you own that player, you own that player. You drafted that player, you own them until you traded them or
Yep.
retired or whatever. So that free there was no choice. There was no leaving. You know there was no leaving the players had no choice on where they could go. It was the draft, and that was it. But they sued to get the free agency and stuff like that, and they used the salaries that were being given to the NFL players or the USFL players, and also then of course sometimes the NFL would count them back, and it just gave you competition, and it made the players be able to get paid more. So, but yeah. So how many years do you think the Red Wings have before they're relevant again?
I mean, at first it seemed like they were doing well, and then they started doing terrible again. So
Yeah,
it's gonna take a while, I think.
yeah.
It's
So,
gonna take some years, I think, before they figure it out.
mhm. Now one of the things that is unique in the NFL from basically most of your other sports is the worst team no matter what goes ahead and gets the number one draft pick. Other leagues, and I'll tell you, most people that know sports, this ain't any news, but um, you have a lottery of like the worst five teams and stuff, and then I mean you could go from one to you know you can have like the first round draft pick. It depends on when your number is picked, as far as for like the five or first eight teams or whatever, on how that lottery pick goes. But the thing is too that it helps you not to tank either.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Any hot takes either of you may have in the offense? Delvin Cook. Delvin Cook signed with the Lions after being cut. I don't think. I don't think he's going to sign with the Lions. Delvin Cook.
No, he'll probably go somewhere else.
Yeah. I mean. I just now I will tell you I won't mind having him, but because I just I don't think we need him, to tell you the truth. What do you think?
I think we're pretty much good with who we have
Hmm.
for the most part. I mean, we can always sign them pretty much whenever we need to.
Yeah. Well, once he's signed, once Alvin Cook is signed by
Yeah,
another, because
that's
he could get signed by another team. Um, but I think with Jamar Gibbs and also with Montgomery, I, but I mean, I think the resources could be used in other areas. Where we may be weaker. I would like to see more sure ups on like the offense or the defensive line.
uh huh.
That's where I would like to see more of that cap money go, rather than putting the money for Delvin Cook, because it's just we got Gibbs for a reason, we got Montgomery for a reason, so it's like to me it's like building a fence when you got your front yard,
Okay.
all right, and then you know you're trying to that's good and that's strong, all right, then but your side yard there's that weak spot there. You got to replace those boards and spend the money on that in order to keep that going. But I mean
Exactly.
that's definitely a good take. To either of you, which is the Lions' biggest need right now? Okay, Tristan, what do you think
I'm
is a
not
Lions?
sure on what one I should.
If you could pick, okay, if all right, if you could pick any player that was sure up, you know, Do you think they need more in offense or in defense?
Maybe the defense,
Me,
possibly,
to me, I would say defensive
because
line. That's what I'd say.
right.
And I'd like to see another run stopper. Uh, that's what I would like to see. Uh, that uh, and also, I mean, I think you still got to look at maybe even a better line, because we have gotten a couple better linebackers, but I think that you got to look at that too, and maybe you know um, another cornerback opposite of C.J. Gardner. So those are more or less my three that I would pick and would want to see more, because I think you're pretty well set. Now, of course, I also got to say, as far as if golf goes down, you know, I, I know Ben Johnson said he's all right with his backup quarterback situation. You don't. We're not going to have Hendon Hooker as a backup this year. Because he's got the torn ACL. So I mean, but I just think I would like to see another real stout you know pass rusher opposite of Aiden Hudson. I think you'll put that down. You know, you you get somebody else that can put pressure on that quarterback opposite of Aiden. Uh, it's going. That's just going to make them fierce.
Yeah.
Okay, so you would, yeah. That's to me. That's kind of their. That's kind of their biggest need. I just think that the that oh gosh, that defense that and I'll tell you, yeah, their biggest need. Okay, so do you agree?
Yeah,
All
I
right,
agree.
yeah. What about you, Grandizer 12? What do you think? And anybody, and thank you guys for coming in on
And
the
everybody else
yeah,
too. I'm kind of
right,
curious what they think.
yeah. And anybody else in the chat listening, what do you think is the Lions defense? Am I way off base? Or, uh, uh, I think it's that defensive line and also linebacker and somebody also quarterback other than the other side of CJ.
Oh, CJ Stroud.
Yeah.
Who's on the other side of him?
All right. Okay. Wow, we've been on here almost an hour and 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Hey, but it was
Yeah.
fun.
Okay. Yeah, it was fun. Um, Thank you, everybody. Like and subscribe. I know I gotta, I'll probably go for maybe another 5 minutes, and then I'm going to need to finish getting ready for work.
Okay.
But definitely, thanks, Tristan. What would be your final thoughts of the show?
My final thoughts were that it was fun just coming on here, chatting with the people in the comments, and just chatting with you on here, and
All right.
just excited to talk Lions with whoever.
Yeah, and I don't know if you've seen on this is not football related, but I don't know if
Okay.
you've seen on this is not even sports related, but Jim's daughter uh, had a son, and the second, his middle name is, I'm sure it's named after him because his middle name is James. So yeah, at one something in the morning. So yeah,
Oh wow.
uh, so yeah. All right.
Yeah, seen she had something
Yeah,
posted.
she had a baby boy at one. So, and I'm sure that middle name being James is after Jimmy. I
Yeah.
always called him Jimmy because that's why. So that was no disrespect to because whenever he would call me up on the phone and we would talk, hey Tim, it's Jimmy, you know. So all right, it was under. I was under the impression that the Lions could use a cornerback. Yeah, I mean that was one of the help. However, I was wrong. Okay,
Okay.
okay, yeah, okay. However. Well,
Hilarious.
you made my oh god, you made my day there.
That's hilarious.
I was just about ready to say that I that was one of my points that I said too. So he stopped me in my tracks. Yeah. All right. Well, I want to thank you very much and for appearing. My final thoughts is hey, let's have fun. And I'll tell you, one of the best ways to have fun is to see the Lions go ahead and march on to victory.
It-
Um, Another thing about the Michigan Panthers is you know how we have the Detroit Lions on the prowl and all that other stuff.
yep.
When I was there, one of their sayings are Panthers on the prowl.
I might have heard him say that. I
Yeah,
remember.
right. And they kept on saying every game, when I was in there, they said like whenever they get a first down or whatever, it was like, okay, very good content.
Congrats.
Uh, Congrats to her, yeah, definitely, and
Yep.
that's faith. Josh Pascal has much faith. How much faith do you have that he will be a strong passer? I think he'll be. Yeah, I have faith in him. I do. What about you, Josh Pascal? Do you think he'll be a
Yeah,
great passer?
I think so.
Yeah. So,
I think he'd be good at
yeah.
pass rushing.
All right, and let's see. Okay, we'll let you sing this time.
Forward down the field, a charging team that will not
Yeah.
yield, and when the blue and silver wave, stand and cheer the brave. Rah, 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 go hard, win the game.
Yep. And that's the Lions cheer song. All right. And here's the second part.
With honor, you will keep your fame, down the field and gain a lion victory. Go Lions!
Go
Go
Lions!
Lions!
Go Lions! Okay, with that, we are going to end the show. And thank you, Tristan.
Yep.
Thank you, Grandizer Troll. Thank you, Kevin. And thank you, anybody else that was in chat watching. Thank you for all of the likes, man. Definitely, for sure. Get, and also, Wayne, I want to thank you for your comments too. Uh, let's just keep on going, and we will see you guys Monday if I don't do a show before, because hey, I might do something this weekend too. You know,
Okay.
so I'll see, but definitely Monday, Wednesdays, and Friday at 11 a.m. Uh, is the time, and hey, I'm also looking for somebody to name the Friday show. All
To
right,
name the Friday show.
and it can't be free for all Friday because that's one thing that, and I'm not going to use no damn free Willy Friday or anything like that. But yeah, we can look for a name for it. So if anybody wants to name that show, and also remember, uh, post in comments and stuff like that, your top 10 people, quarterbacks within like the last 5 years they could have retired, that you would think that if you had to come up with a win at the end of the ball game, who would you want to be your quarterback? I know, whether it's Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, um, of course Matthew Stafford, Joe Burrow. Just post that in the chats on Tim's Maniac Sports or even on YouTube. Anybody who wants to, that would be great. All right, and with that, have a great day.